My fiancé posted, "Marriage should be 50-50. I replied, "I agree." Then I stopped payments for her half of the wedding, the dress, the flowers, and her 10 bridesmaids appointments. Her phone blew up within an hour. I, 29 male, was supposed to get married in 3 weeks. Keyword was. My ex-fiancée Julia, 27, and I had been together for 4 years, engaged for 1. The wedding planning started normal enough, venue hunting, cake tasting, the usual stress. But somewhere along the way, it became clear we had very different ideas about partnership. See, Julia comes from money. Not crazy money, but enough that she's never worried about rent. Her parents paid for her college, her car, her condo down payment. Meanwhile, I grew up with a single mom who worked 2 jobs. Everything I have, I earned. When we got engaged, I was making good money. Not tech bro money, but solid. Julia worked part-time at her friend's boutique, more for fun than necessity. She'd always say things like, "When we're married, what's yours is mine anyway," and laugh. I thought it was cute. Then the wedding planning started. Julia wanted the works. Country club venue, designer dress, 10 bridesmaids in matching $400 dresses, flowers that cost more than my first car. The initial quote, $85,000. I suggested scaling back. She cried, said I was ruining her vision, and every girl dreams of her perfect day. Her parents offered to pay for the rehearsal dinner. That's it. The rest? You're the man, Brian. This is what men do. So I liquidated some investments, took on extra projects. By month 6 of planning, I'd already dropped $40,000 on deposits and payments. Julia hadn't contributed a dime. "Babe, I'm saving for our future home," she'd say. "You're better with money anyway." 3 weeks ago, everything changed. We were at her friend Janice's engagement party. Wine was flowing. Julia was in her element, surrounded by her sorority sisters. I was by the bar when I heard it. Brian is sweet, but let's be real, Julia could do better. At least he's trainable. I froze. That was Janice talking. "Oh, stop," Julia laughed. "He's perfect, he doesn't question anything, pays for everything, and still thinks it's his idea. My mom taught me well, find a provider who thinks he's progressive." The others giggled. My chest felt tight. "But won't he expect you to contribute after you're married?" another friend asked. Julia's voice was confident. "That's the beauty of it. I'll keep working part-time, play house, maybe pop out a kid or 2. He'll be too tired from work to notice I'm spending his money on Pilates and wine lunches. Men are simple, feed them, sleep with them, and they'll hand over their whole paycheck." Someone said something about feminism. Julia's response? "Please, feminism is about choice. I choose to let him think he's in charge while I live my best life. Watch. I'll post something about equal partnership on Instagram tomorrow and he'll probably buy me flowers." I left, drove around for 2 hours. When I got home, Julia was already there, tipsy and affectionate. I played normal, needed time to think. The next day, she actually did it. Posted a quote on Instagram, "Marriage should be 50-50, equal partners building a life together." 217 likes, comments from her friends about what a queen she was, how lucky I was. I commented, "I agree completely, 50-50 all the way." She hearted my comment. That's when I started making calls. Update 1. First, I need to explain something. Every vendor, every payment, every contract, everything was in my name. Julia said it was easier since I was handling the finances. "You're so organized, babe, I'd just mess it up." I believed her. So that morning, coffee in hand, I opened my laptop and got to work. The dress shop was first. Julia's dress cost $8,000. She'd had 3 fittings, but the final payment wasn't due for another week. "Michaela's Bridal, how can I help you?" "Hi, this is Brian Thompson. I need to cancel an order." "Oh no, is everything okay with the wedding?" "Actually, we're restructuring our financial approach, going 50-50 on everything now. Since my fiancée hasn't paid her half, I need to cancel my involvement." Silence. "But the dress is almost complete. There's a non-refundable 70% cancellation fee." "That's fine. My deposit should cover most of that. Bill me for the difference and cancel the rest of the order." The flowers were next. $15,000 total. I'd paid $10,000 already. "You want to cancel the entire order? The wedding is in 3 weeks. Just my half of the payment. If my fiancée wants to keep the order, she can call and pay the remaining $5,000. The venue was trickier. I'd paid in full, $25,000. I knew from the contract this was a total loss. There was no magic insurance clause for a breakup. Sir, we can't refund at this late date. I'm not asking for a refund. I am formally canceling the event for the specified date. I'm aware the payment is non-refundable. I'm eating the cost. Please send me written confirmation of the cancellation. The coordinator sounded stunned into silence. But we typically need both parties to check your contract. Page 4, Section 3. Only the primary signatory is needed for cancellation. That's me. By noon, I'd canceled. The photographer, $5,000. The videographer, $3,000. The DJ, $2,000. The catering liquor package, $4,000. The wedding cake, $1,200. 10 bridesmaids' hair and makeup appointments. For vendors where I'd already paid deposits, I forfeited the money and canceled future payments. For everything else, I withdrew authorization. Then I texted Julia, "Hey babe, I took your Instagram post to heart. You're right, marriage should be 50-50. The total wedding budget is $85,000, so your half is $42,500. Since I've already covered $40,000 in deposits and payments, you'll need to handle the rest to keep everything afloat. Let me know if you need the vendor contact list." I put my phone on silent and went to the gym. 45 minutes later, my lock screen was a solid wall of notifications. 32 missed calls, over 100 texts. Julia didn't come home that night. Her friend Frances called around 10 p.m. "What did you do?" "Julia's having a breakdown. Her dress got canceled." The venue called about the cancellation confirmation. "Her bridesmaids are freaking out about their hair appointments." I agreed with her Instagram post. Marriage should be 50-50. You know what she meant. Do I? Because what I heard at Janice's party was pretty clear. Silence. You were there? By the bar. Heard every word about how trainable and simple I am. She hung up. Julia showed up the next morning with her mother. I was expecting this. Evelyn was a force. Botox, designer bags, and a PhD in manipulation. "Brian, sweetheart," she started, sitting on my couch uninvited. "There's clearly been a misunderstanding." "No misunderstanding. Julia wants 50-50. I'm giving her 50-50. Julia's eyes were puffy. "You're ruining everything. The wedding is in 3 weeks. Then you have 3 weeks to come up with your half." "I don't have that kind of money. You have savings. You said so yourself, for our future home." Her face went pale. Evelyn jumped in. "This is about more than money, Brian. You're humiliating my daughter. What will people think?" "I don't care what people think. You signed contracts, in my name, which I'm legally allowed to cancel." Evelyn's mask slipped. "You little, how dare you, after everything we've welcomed you into. Julia chose you despite what? My middle-class background, my single mother, say it." She pressed her lips together. Julia started crying again. "I loved you. How can you do this? You said I was trainable, that men are simple, that you'd spend my paychecks on Pilates while I'm too tired to notice." I was drunk. It was just girl talk. In vino veritas. They left after more screaming. Julia called me heartless. Evelyn threatened lawyers. That afternoon I got an email from a law firm. Update 2. The email was from Evelyn's attorney, some fancy firm downtown. They claimed I was financially abusing Julia by canceling contracts she relied upon in good faith. They demanded I reinstate all vendors and pay in full, or face a lawsuit for emotional distress and breach of verbal contract. I forwarded it to my buddy who just passed the bar. His response? LMAO, they have nothing. Save everything. Meanwhile, Julia went nuclear on social media. Facebook post, when you think you know someone for 4 years and they show their true colors 3 weeks before your wedding. Some men can't handle successful women who know their worth. Instagram story. To all my girls getting married, get everything in writing, trust no one. Her friends piled on. I was getting tagged in posts about financial abuse and toxic masculinity. Someone made a TikTok that went semi-viral. POV, your fiancé cancels your dream wedding because you posted about equality. My phone was blowing up. Mutual friends choosing sides. My mom called, worried. Brian, what's happening? Julia's mom called me saying you've lost your mind. I sent her the recording. Yeah, I recorded it. See, after I heard the conversation at Janice's party, I started to feel like I was going crazy. I needed to know if I was just imagining the manipulation. So the next time Julia went on one of her little rants about our future finances, I discreetly started a voice memo on my phone. In my state, single-party consent is legal. Babe, do you really think we should split everything equally when we're married? God, no. You make like 3 times what I make. That wouldn't be fair. You should pay proportional to income, but I'll probably quit working anyway when we have kids. What about household stuff? I mean, I'll decorate and keep things nice. You wouldn't want to come home to a messy house after working all day. That's my contribution. I had hours of this. My mom listened to a few clips, then canceled the whole wedding. But Julia wasn't done. She started texting my coworkers. Yeah, she went there. Screenshots of her crying, saying I was financially manipulating her. One coworker's wife called me asking if I was okay, if I was having a breakdown. Then came the masterstroke. Julia's dad, who'd been silent until now, called me. Brian, man to man, let's fix this. Albert was different from Evelyn. Quiet money, old school. Sir, with respect, there's nothing to fix. You're embarrassing my family. Your daughter embarrassed herself. I'll write you a check. 20,000. You put the wedding back on, we call it a gift. No, 30. Albert, I don't want your money. I wanted a partner. Your daughter wants a sponsor. He sighed. You know what Julia is. You've always known. Why act surprised now? Because I thought she loved me despite what I could provide, not because of it. Son, that is love for women like Julia. You take care of them, they take care of you. It's worked for centuries. It doesn't work for me. Silence. Then, you sure you want to do this? You'll never find another Julia. I'm counting on it. He actually chuckled before hanging up. That weekend, things escalated. Julia hired a moving company to get her stuff from my place, except she tried to take my stuff too. The movers were confused when I stopped them from taking my TV. Ma'am said it was hers. Check the receipt from 2019. My name, my credit card. Julia stood there, arms crossed. We've shared it for 2 years. Sharing isn't ownership. She tried to take my espresso machine, my gaming console, even my grandmother's cast iron skillet. That's ours, she screamed. Show me a receipt with your name. The movers looked uncomfortable. One pulled me aside. Bro, she offered us an extra $200 to just load everything. I'll give you $300 to only take what she can prove is hers. They took her clothes, her jewelry, some furniture she'd bought, left everything else. Julia was apoplectic. You're being petty. I'm being 50-50. What's mine is mine. What's yours is yours. Equality. She posted another rant that night, this time about men who weaponize feminism. The comments were mixed now, some people starting to ask questions. Wait, why can't you pay for half the wedding? Don't you have savings? Why was everything in his name anyway? Her friends tried damage control, but the narrative was shifting. Then someone leaked the Janice party story. I don't know who. I'd told a few people. Word spreads. Suddenly there was a Reddit thread. Bride calls groom trainable and simple, shocked when he cancels wedding. It hit the front page. Update 3. With 1 week until the would-be wedding date, everything imploded. First, the bridesmaids started dropping out. Turns out, when I canceled their hair and makeup appointments, they were expected to pay out of pocket, $300 each. Julia had told them it was covered. Her maid of honor, Frances, called me. Brian, I need to know, did Julia really say those things? Yes. And you have recordings? Yes. Jesus. Pause. I'm out. I can't support this. She's been talking about your money since day one. I thought it was jokes. 3 more bridesmaids followed, then another 2. By Tuesday, she was down to 4 out of 10. The Reddit thread had spawned a flurry of blog posts and TikTok reaction videos. The weaponization of equality in modern relationships, when 50-50 goes wrong. Someone found Julia's Instagram and screenshot her marriage should be 50-50 post alongside her lifestyle photos. Trips I'd paid for, jewelry I'd bought, dinners at restaurants I couldn't really afford, but she insisted on. Julia tried damage control with a Notes app apology. I want to address the recent situation with my wedding. Yes, I said things I regret while intoxicated. Yes, I expected my fiancé to pay for most of our wedding, but this is what we'd agreed to. He makes significantly more than me. For him to suddenly change our entire dynamic 3 weeks before our wedding is cruel. I'm not perfect, but I don't deserve this. The comments weren't kind. Then Evelyn made everything worse. She went on a local Facebook group, one of those "Are we dating the same guy" pages, and posted about me, warning women that I was financially abusive and manipulative. Said I'd trapped her daughter with promises of a lavish wedding, then pulled the rug out. Someone who knew the real story responded with screenshots of Julia's posts about all the trips I'd paid for. Others chimed in with their own stories about Julia from college, how she bragged about never paying for drinks and dating for dinner. It became a whole thing. Meanwhile, I was dealing with logistics. Canceling honeymoon tickets. Thankfully, I'd bought insurance. Dealing with the apartment lease, only my name, thank God. Returning wedding gifts, awkward but necessary. Julia made one last attempt, showed up at my office. Security called me down. She looked rough. No makeup, hair in a messy bun, wearing sweats, not the polished image she usually presented. "Can we talk, please?" Against my better judgment, I agreed. We went to a coffee shop. "I'm sorry," she started. "I know I messed up. What I said was horrible." "Which part? The trainable comment? The simple part? Or the bit about spending my money while I'm too tired to notice?" She winced. "All of it. I was showing off. Those girls, they bring out the worst in me." "No, Julia, they revealed who you really are." "That's not fair. You recorded me without my knowledge. I recorded our conversations after I heard you discussing our relationship like a business merger in public." She started crying. Real tears this time, not the dramatic kind. "What am I supposed to do? The wedding is in 6 days. Everyone knows. I'm humiliated." "You humiliated yourself. I loved you. You loved my wallet. That's not..." She stopped, composed herself. "Fine. You want the truth? Yes. I expected you to provide. That's how I was raised. Men provide, women nurture. But I did love you. I chose you. You chose my earning potential. Is that so wrong? Women have been doing it forever. At least I was honest about it. You were honest with everyone except me." She stared at her coffee. "What do you want me to say? That I'll change? Get a full-time job? Split everything down the middle? We both know that's not who I am." She was right. It wasn't who she was. "I want you to leave and never contact me again." "Brian, we're done, Julia." She left without another word. The wedding day came and went. I spent it at my buddy's lake house, fishing and drinking beer with the guys who'd stood by me. My phone was off, but I heard later that Julia posted a black screen on Instagram with some quote about rising from ashes. Her friends posted old photos from the bachelorette party with captions like, "You deserve better, Queen." The Reddit thread had updates from people who knew us, reporting that Julia was taking time to heal at her parents' vacation home. A week later, I got a final email from Evelyn's lawyer. They were dropping any legal pursuit. Probably realized that recordings of their client admitting to gold digging wouldn't play well in court. A month later, I heard through the grapevine that Julia was dating some crypto guy. Posted about how everything happens for a reason and how she'd learned to value herself. The crypto guy commented with heart emojis. 3 months later, the crypto market crashed. The guy disappeared from her social media. You might think I'm bitter. I'm not. I'm grateful. That $40,000 I lost on deposits and non-refundable payments? Consider it tuition for the most valuable lesson I ever learned. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. When someone tells you who they are to other people, run. And when someone posts about wanting 50-50 while contributing 0-100, give them exactly what they asked for. Final edit. Since this blew up, I should add, to the people saying I should have just talked to her. I did. For years. Every time I brought up financial contribution, she had an excuse, saving for our future. Between jobs, focusing on wedding planning. There was always something. To those saying I'm cheap, I ate over $40,000 in lost deposits and non-refundable fees just to get out. I'm not cheap. I just refuse to be used. To anyone in a similar situation, document everything. Trust your gut, and never ever ignore red flags because you're in love. And to Julia, if you're reading this, I saw your new crypto boyfriend tagged in your healing journey posts. Turns out we have a mutual acquaintance. I sent him a friendly email with the subject line, "A little context on your new girlfriend." I attached the audio files. He opened them 3 minutes later. Good luck with that.